Picture this, a sweltering Mississippi day where dust kicks up in Tupelo and a young boy sits on the porch, humming a melody picked up in church. His mother listens, clapping along. That boy is Elvis, and even before he ever stepped on a stage, music swirled through his family's life like an electric current. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to find your purpose so early? That urge to perform didn't just land in Elvis's lap, it came from a lifetime of listening and longing. Elvis didn't fit in perfectly at school. Sometimes he kept to himself, sometimes he surprised classmates with a bold joke. He was shy yet magnetic, someone you'd want to share secrets with by the lockers, but also someone ready to electrify a crowd. Is there anyone in your circle who's quietly brilliant, just waiting to burst forth? His family was not wealthy. In fact, they struggled just to buy basic necessities. Imagine the determination it must have taken to chase a music career in the face of poverty. So many would have given up, but Elvis pressed on. The lesson here? Dreams don't care about your bank account. What matters is persistence. When he picked up his first guitar, the instrument wasn't a prized possession, it was a lifeline. For Elvis, strumming chords was a way to escape reality, to send his soul soaring while his feet stayed planted on Mississippi ground. Isn't it fascinating how sometimes our greatest outlets emerge from times of hardship rather than comfort? Fast forward to his teenage years. He dyed his hair black, slicked it back, and honed a style that made him instantly recognizable. He made bold choices. Maybe you felt the urge to change your look, to become the truest version of yourself, even if others didn't understand at first. Elvis's leap into self-expression teaches us that authenticity can create a ripple effect far beyond our imagination. When Sun Records gave Elvis his first big break, he didn't just sing notes, he exploded them into the air. His first recording session gave birth to a sound that blended influences with uncanny originality. Have you ever tried combining opposites to make something new? That's what set Elvis apart. Rock's energy, gospel, soul, country, storytelling. He redefined what it meant to sound American. The first time Elvis performed That's All Right, local radio phones lit up. People wanted more, not less. It's amazing what happens when someone lights a fire that others have only seen as embers. The world recognized a shift, as if music itself had moved a step forward. But the road from local fame to global legend wasn't smooth. While some adored him, others feared his hip-shaking style and swagger. Parents panicked and critics bristled. Does resistance from authority figures make something more appealing? For Elvis, the answer was a resounding yes. It must be strange, being at the center of a cultural storm. Imagine waking up each day to headlines and controversy, just for doing what you love with your whole heart. Yet Presley met it with a sly smile and a wink, turning criticism into another facet of his myth. With success came relentless pressure. Each new single, film, and public appearance stretched him further. Did he ever worry the magic would run out? Maybe, but he kept showing up again and again, pouring more of himself into every note. Elvis's fame changed not just his life, but also the lives of those around him. Friends found themselves swept up on tours. Family adapted to a constant stream of fans and paparazzi. Distant relatives were suddenly 1 degree from stardom. Ever had someone else's decisions ripple through your world? Graceland was his castle, yet sometimes Elvis found it more prison than palace. Behind those gates, he sought solace, privacy, and meaning. Why is it that getting everything you ask for sometimes leaves you wanting more? His generosity became legendary, giving away cars, jewelry, and even homes. Some say he felt a responsibility to share his fortune, as if it was never his alone. Have you ever been moved to give unexpectedly, not because you had extra, but because you understood what it meant to go without? Despite public adulation, loneliness lingered in Elvis's world. So many people wanted a piece of him, but how many truly saw the man beneath the glitter? It's easy to mistake attention for connection. For Presley, the struggle to find real intimacy was one he never quite won. Music wasn't just his job, it was medicine. Even in his darkest moments, singing could bring him back to life. Think about this soundtrack to your own lows. What pulls you through, note by note? As his fame grew, so did temptation. The lure of pills began as a way to keep up with the demands of touring, filming, and fame. Slowly, dependence crept in. He wasn't alone. Many stars fell into the same cycle, but that doesn't make it less tragic. We can learn to look out for one another, to spot the subtle signs before things spiral. Elvis loved deeply, sometimes too intensely for his own good. His romantic relationships mirrored his music, passionate, full of hope, sometimes volatile. Ever been swept off your feet, only to land harder than expected? Presley's tangled love life was both a blessing and a curse, a reminder that intensity doesn't always lead to happiness. He never forgot his roots, always circling back to gospel music. During his Vegas years, after thunderous shows, he often gathered close friends for impromptu singing sessions. These were moments of pure joy, far from the blinding lights. Sometimes the best memories are created when the cameras are off. As he aged, Elvis wrestled with his image. The jumpsuits grew more ornate, the schedules more packed, and the fatigue more evident. He was expected to always be the king, even when all he wanted was to be himself, Elvis from Tupelo. Isn't there comfort in returning to who you were before anyone else knew your name? The last years were tough. Health issues, fueled by addiction and grief from loss and disappointment, wore him down. Yet, he kept pushing onward, performing when others would have quit. There's a lesson in resilience here, but also a warning. Resilience without self-care can be dangerous. Stories about his final months blur into rumors, but what's clear is that the world wasn't ready to let him go. His death shocked fans everywhere, igniting endless theories that he might still be alive. Sometimes it's easier to hold on to myth than confront reality. Was Elvis's passing really about excess and neglect? Or was it the weight of being a symbol everyone wanted a piece of? Maybe it was both. The lesson: our icons are human, and the spotlight can burn as fiercely as it dazzles. In grief, millions found common ground. Mourning Elvis became more than sadness over an idol. It was a reflection on the fleetingness of life, fame, and the dangers of putting people on pedestals they can't escape. Yet, in every adversity, Presley left behind more than music. He showcased vulnerability, laughter, and the importance of family. People might remember the sideburns and jumpsuits, but those close to him recall his kindness and quick wit most of all. Kids and adults alike have copied Elvis's look at Halloween or in concerts. His impact has crossed generations, shaping how artists perform, how fans feel, and even how the music industry markets swagger. None of us escape his influence, even if we don't recognize it at first. When you hear Jailhouse Rock or see the curl of his lip, what comes to mind? Is it rebellion, innocence, heartbreak, or something else entirely? Art means different things to everyone, and perhaps that's the real mark of greatness. Elvis's spiritual quest never ended. He read widely on philosophies and religions, seeking answers that newsletters and fan letters couldn't provide. The world views stars as knowing everything, but Presley's life reflects that none of us have it all figured out. Whether you're a fan or a skeptic, Elvis's journey has something to teach. The importance of listening closely to ourselves, to those we love, and to the quiet signals of burnout. If you had 5 minutes to talk with him, what would you ask? The lesson from his story might just be: give your gifts, but guard your health. Be generous, but learn to say no. Stand out, but remember to stand true. Legends are made from the ordinary, stitched together with persistence and heartache. Presley's story endures because it contains a bit of all of us. Dreams, mistakes, victories, regrets, and a soundtrack that makes the hardest days a little lighter. If there's one takeaway from Elvis's legacy, it's this: creativity is a form of courage. No matter where you begin, showing the world who you are is the first step towards changing it. What might you create if you let yourself shine, unfiltered? Thank you for joining this journey through Elvis's remarkable, messy, marvelous life. Be part of our global team. Share your own experiences below, connect with others, and help inspire the next dreamer. Subscribe for stories that dig deeper, share with those who need courage, and leave a comment about the king or the king within you.